Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Kirsten Rudberg. She is an author, podcaster, screenwriter, clergy, producer, and screenwriter. Welcome to the show, Kirsten.
I am so excited to be here.
You are welcome to the show, Kirsten. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are talking right now. We'll be talking about miracles and magic. So it's nice to talk about these things, Kirsten, with you. I want to understand, you also talk about the universe. So who creates miracles and magic? Is it God? Is it universe? Or is it we humans who can create miracles and magic? Help us understand with all the experience, with all the travel experience, all the life experience, all the experience as the podcast host. Help us understand this.
I see you're starting out with an easy question. I love this question. That's great. Well, I actually do believe that we are co-creating. So it is kind of a partnership, a relationship between us, the people in the world, the humans in the world, and the energy outside of us. I'm a panentheist, so I kind of believe that spirit, or if you want to call it God or energy, is in everything, that everything has consciousness, that everything has something to tell us. And so I really believe in co-creation, that it's us and it's whatever that great energy is out there.
Right. Then what's the role of the universe in our lives? How do you talk about listening to the universe? How do we listen to the universe? What is it that we should try and listen to the universe? Till now, only the Webb telescope, the Hubble telescope, all these people have things have been doing the listening part. But I want to understand, how do we connect to the universe and for what?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I am hugely into science and have been into science since I was a kid. I just have loved science magazines. I've loved learning. So I love the Hubble. I love everything that all these X-ray telescopes are showing us about the beauty in the universe and how little we actually truly know. Because at the end, I can tell you everything I think, but at the bottom of that is me saying, I really, take it with a grain of salt. This is just my experience. But I revel in what science shows us about the beauty in the universe, the mathematics behind everything, and just how glorious every day can be when you look and you see what's going on. As far as, universe and all of that energy and creation, I just really believe that, if you're open, and it took me a while to become open, there are signs, and I can tell you the funny stories about how I ended up walking the Camino. I mean, sometimes the universe, finally had to slap me across the face and was like, pay attention. We want you to walk the Camino. And I'm not a religious person really. And so this was so far-fetched for me to do it. But after I got 5 different messages that were so bizarre over the course of a year and a half, I understood, hey, I'm supposed to do this. Even though my family thinks I'm crazy, I'm going to do it. Even though I'm not religious, I'm going to do it. And doing that trip changed my entire life and set me off on a path that I would have never dreamed of, including getting my Master's of Divinity in Denver, going to graduate school. And so I think, for me, the universe talks in signs. Or sometimes I say it bitch slaps me. Sometimes when I'm not listening, it just hauls off and whacks me on the top of the head and says, why aren't you paying attention? We need you to do this, or we want you to do this. Other people can dream about what they need to do. Some people, have a friend counsel them and tell them. But for me, it's mostly messages. Events happen in my life. And I think that energy, I really do believe that it wants the best for all of us, that it wants us to attain, but with the idea that we help humanity. I mean, there's always going to be some lesson or some message where it's going to further our life path so that we can do good things for other people and help people in the world. It's not to help ourselves, it's to help other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell us a bit about your journey. You talked about the Camino. So you learned a lot of things along that, pilgrimage along the way. But a lot of people who would not be able to be a part of the Camino actually, walking that pilgrimage. But is it, how do they be a part of that Camino without even walking that path? What is the message that you can give to them? Because you talk about science, but at the same time you also say that you are a believer in humanity. And a lot of times, I see that a lot of people within the amongst the humans, they are not ready to be human. They want to be superhuman, and in that path, almost some people believe that these big guys will destroy humanity itself. So help us understand through your journey, through your understanding of humanity, through the understanding walking the Camino. I want to get your perspective on all these things.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, I'm naturally inquisitive about the world. I'm a third culture kid because I grew up overseas till I was about 11 years old in both Guyana, South America, and then in Lahore, Pakistan for 4 years. And so I had a really singular childhood and got to play with kids from all over the world and got to meet every kind of human being you could imagine at the American school that I went to. And at a very young age, I guess I did not grow up with the prejudices about people's skin or religion, just because I was surrounded by adults and human beings of all kinds. And that has informed my entire life. It changed everything for me, so that when I go out in the world now, for example, walking the Camino, I'm very open. I'm ready for whatever adventure. I'm ready to meet on their terms whatever human being I'm going to encounter. And so my Camino was intensely magical. And I ended up actually walking this little used route from southern France to northern France and then along the Spanish coast. And first of all, I have to say French food is out of this world. I ate like 20 chocolate croissants a day and lost 20 pounds still. It was like the most amazing thing ever. But I was carrying a really heavy pack, and I have never been treated so gorgeously and beautifully. And I was walking through some of the more remote French countryside. So I went to Toulouse and Albi, but I didn't really go to the big cities. And my route was known for its solitary, how solitary it is. And I chose that route because if I was going to do a pilgrimage, I wanted to do it, I didn't want to do the party route. I have never been treated so kindly, so beautifully, so gracefully than I was by the French people. And it's very interesting because I had a walking companion for a while. We sat, after about a week or two of walking together, we sat in a restaurant and she just went on. And this taught me so much about how terrible the French people were, how ugly they were to her, just what terrible human beings they are. And I thought, gosh, I mean, that's not my experience. They've been giving me gifts and like doing good things for me and wrapping up free food. But then I saw her with other people and she was really negative and really sour in general, just with everyone. And I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, she's getting back what she's already giving out. Nothing was ever good enough for her. And I thought, oh my goodness, maybe the way I am in the world, open, generous, kind, that's what I'm getting back from others. And it was such a learning experience for me because I met several other pilgrims on the walk who definitely had, fears or concerns, and they talked about it incessantly. And I thought, wow, that is not how I want to be in the world. I want to be like confident in what the universe has to offer me. I want to be kind. I want to be generous. I want to be open. And I really discovered that when you are that way in the world, that's what you get back.
Right, right, Kirsten. So I want to understand, you talk about that creating communities and spaces that will heal and include everyone. So is it looking from a positive point of view to the state that we are in, or is it looking at it from a slightly negative point of view that we have we as humans have reached, taken ourselves to this level?
Yes. I love all the easy questions you're asking. It's really fun. Well, let's just say, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, but one of the analogies I use in my life is I want to invite everyone to my sandbox. I really approach life in this childlike way, and I think we all should. Generous of spirit, believing in the other human before you've met them. And I want everybody to come in the sandbox, play, have fun, let's create, let's do good stuff, let's work together. Let's do good things together. Everyone wants to play in the sandbox and create sandcastles, at least I think, unless sand does hurt a little bit, but I think it's mostly fun. But the world today, I mean, it seems to be growing more acrimonious and more angry by the day. And I think that speaks to a lot of the suffering that people are going through, to a lot of the injustice that's going on in the world, to unfair wages, to people being used as, anything from human trafficking to sweatshop labor. I mean, the way we're treating other humans is not in any way, in some spaces and places, okay, not everywhere, is not just or morally right. Humans, anything in this world is not disposable. And I feel like there is a great sense in the world by some people in power, by those who want to keep power, hold on to it, that human beings are disposable and that the environment is disposable and that nothing is sacred. And I really come from a place where everything is sacred and that everything deserves respect, and you need to have right relationship with it. And so I think we're witnessing a world where hate and fear is being allowed to run rampant and is not being checked. And that scares me. It worries me, because I think we have to be really careful with the words that we use in general, because words can either build up or they can destroy. I'm really careful with what I put out into the world word-wise. And I understand that it's my job to help create versus destroy and tear down. I'm not perfect. I'm a totally flawed human being, and I think terrible thoughts every now and again. But I really do strive to create beauty, to create goodness, to create generosity of spirit in the world, because we need more of that. We need more people believing in other people. And I've said this before on other podcasts, but they've done studies where, if there's a car on fire or some crisis happening, 80% of people will run into the building to save someone or will run towards the car to pull someone out. So that, that goodness, that belief in others, that wanting to be present to others, it is in the majority, but the media they don't sell papers. They don't get eyes on what their TV shows are saying unless they talk about conflict, division, death, and strife. And yes, we do need to know about those things, but the way they make money and they get clicks is by emphasizing the bad stuff that's going on in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perhaps, we humans are not able to see our plight, the way we conduct ourselves. The powerful conduct themselves, and I don't know what they want or what we human wants. And maybe because we cannot see, you brought two crows into the picture in your animated series called Murder of Two, who sit on a line and observe humanity. I want to understand, why did you bring these two crows, and why did you name it Murder of Two? And what did these two crows observe about humanity?
Well, it was, truly, unconsciously, okay, I didn't understand that I was wrestling with this. But after I got done, I'm still trying to produce season 2. It costs quite a bit of money to get, all those episodes up there on YouTube. But I understood after I got the first season up that I was really trying to kind of explore and understand how that energy or God or spirit looks down on us and observes humanity and our foibles and how ridiculous we are. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm wrestling with this. Wow, that this is my unconscious just right here in this animated series. It's called Murder of Two because, a collection of crows is called a murder. And so it's two crows sitting on a line, observing how silly we can be as humans. And I really just wanted to, bring forth, and each one has a little moral or some sort of message is there, that is supposed to confront the viewer and help the viewer understand, why do humans do this? Why are we so ridiculous? Why do we hurt other humans? Or why do we kill other humans? Or why are we intolerant? So yeah, that's kind of, it was my unconscious coming out.
Right, Kirsten. So you also talk about that you are a panentheist, if I'm pronouncing it correct, and believes that spirit or energy, gods and goddesses exist in all that we can see or not see, and
Yeah.
that magics and miracles are real and potent. So when all these things are happening, where are the gods? Where is that magic? Why is it giving so much power to so few people to take humanity towards disaster and left to heal themselves? Help us understand this part.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm just going to tell you what I think, and it doesn't mean I'm right. I just want to put that out there. I really believe that these trials and tribulations, these pains that we're witnessing, in some cases, horrors that we're witnessing all over the globe, humanity, I think we can all say, is very divided and full of pain. And I think there's a lot of collective trauma out there from generations of, all over the globe, of colonialism, of, of everything you can imagine. And a lot of people are not doing the work they need to do to kind of unpack that horror. I always tell everyone, therapy is for everyone. Go, because there are things hiding inside of us that we might not even understand. But not only that, we don't want to get access to them because they're so painful. So I think everybody should be in therapy so that we can start healing the parts of ourselves, so that we can show up in the world and be better people, so we can be kinder and more generous. I do think that, I often think of this quotation, and I can't exactly remember the quotation right now, but it's about World War II and what the Nazis did to the Jewish people. And, it says basically, they came for my neighbor, I didn't say anything. They came for my best friend, I didn't say anything. They came for my wife, I didn't say anything. And then they came for me. And the lesson is that if we don't speak up or protest or fight against, human trafficking or injustice, or someone losing their home, or a family not being able to get food, buy them food, if we don't speak up and fight against the injustices and the terrible things that are happening in the world, then it's on us. And I believe that these things are happening in the world partly because we are failing as a human species to stand up for the environment, to give voice to rivers, fields, lakes, oceans. We're not standing up for other humans. We're not standing up for humanity. I think it's that energies, or God, if you want to use that word, way of saying, hey, when are you going to step up to the plate and act for the good of everyone? Be more conscious of how you are in the world. How are you using what you're using? Is it hurting other things? Is it hurting other people? And it's a way to kind of clarify the human spirit, help us to move into our power. I'm not saying that suffering and injustice and murder are good or helpful, but I think it's a great failure on the human race that more of us aren't more invested in helping others, standing up for the environment, and creating more good in this world, helping others.
Right, Kirsten. So I want to understand, you've stayed in different places, from Guyana, South America, to even Lahore in Pakistan. So did you see God anywhere? Or did you see that God is vanishing from all places across the world, very quickly? I want to understand from your experience.
Gosh, I saw it everywhere. Especially in Pakistan. I got to go to the Taj Mahal. I got to travel in Pakistan. I got to go to Kashmir. And I actually, even in Guyana.
Taj Mahal is in India, and Kashmir is also.
Yeah. Yes. It's astonishing, the level. And in France, of course, I was walking from small village to small village where there were churches everywhere. People, and even like in the middle of nowhere in forests, huge mazes and labyrinths. I mean, people are still creating and working with the natural environment to create sacred spaces. So absolutely, did I see temples and worship spaces, smokes and incense. It's really glorious the different ways that human beings, especially in Bangkok, also create these gorgeous buildings and spaces to kind of connect to the divine however they can. Yeah, everywhere.
Absolutely, absolutely, Kirsten. So, you see hope for humanity, or is it that it is going to be difficult times ahead, especially with the coming of artificial intelligence? A lot of negativity being spread around people. Earlier, they used to talk about controlling our money, but now the whole debate is whether a few people are trying to control our minds and trying to build a new world order in itself.
Yeah, I actually do think there are some troubling facets to AI. I really don't like that they can take people's faces and just people can put them in any sort of compromising position they want. So in the future, I really worry about what is true. How are we going to figure out what's actually authentic and real in any space or arena? Because there are a lot of bad players out there who want to manipulate, and especially for women. We just saw that huge to do with Taylor Swift and how they took her face and put it on these compromising photos. I mean, there are going to be a lot of challenges for women in the future but all of humanity as well, because there are some really, really bad people who want to hurt other people, and they will do whatever they have to debase them and make them feel shame. And I'm really nervous about AI as far as that goes. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I do have hope because at my heart, I do believe that most people operate from a space of goodness, of wanting to bring benefit to the world. I do have some hope. It's cautious hope, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. We humans need a lot of blessings. Humanity needs a lot of blessings, even if they are bite-sized blessings. That's the name of your podcast. Tell us a bit about your podcast. What this podcast? I like the name, Bite-sized Blessings.
Thank you. And it's BYTE because each episode, I interview everyone under the sun. Again, I'm bringing everyone into the sandbox to play with me. If they've ever had anything magical or miraculous happen in their life, something inexplicable. And I've had everything from someone who died 3 times to ghosts to fairies to mothers who changed people's lives. I've had everything. And it's really a selfish endeavor because I want to hear these stories to lift my heart up and remember that the universe is co-creating. But really, it's me having conversations with people about the magic and the miraculous in the world. And I love every minute of it. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is much to learn from you, much to understand from you. So I'm sure a lot of people who would like to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do so?
Oh, sure. So my website is bitesizedblessings.com and it's BYTE. There's a link on the website where you can email me if you have questions or you want to be a guest. You'll also find the 3 books that I have out. My 3rd book is debuting at George R. Martin's bookstore in Santa Fe at the end of April. And then there's a link to watch my Murder of 2 series. So really my website.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you. This was really fun.